All right, welcome back. We have our draw IO flowchart diagram. So now let's go to our coding. And we've pretty much, well, I've already pretty much coded it, but we're going to walk you through the code so that you're like, hey, this is how you do it. All right, so we built a little folder and we put our RPG simulator Python file, and then we put our Jupyter notebook where we're going to prototype it. So we're going to reference our flowchart, so just take that into consideration. All right, so for the first thing, we want some libraries. We're going to use a time library because we want to give the program like a little bit of suspense, like pause the program for just like a few seconds and then like, hey, you attacked, hey, the monster showed up or something like that. All right, and then import random, that's going to be where our probability is going to come into. So like you choose to fight, right? And it's either 0 or 1 where you fight it and the monster wins or you win. So that's good. Okay. So then we're going to do our start, which is, right here, right? That's going to be our start. We're going to create a little function for it. And the reason we're going to create functions for like parts of our flowchart diagram is one, it's a lot easier to keep, to maintain, and two, let's say we wanted to do a whole thing where the player could replay over and over again instead of just like, hey, you lose and that's it. They could choose like to play over again. But yeah, we're for this program, we're just going to go from the first step to the last step, and we're not going to do any looping or ask the player to replay again. All right. So then we do our start. Brave Chicken Soldier, that's the name of our little RPG game. And then we're going to do like a little start. Then we're going to set the mood with the intro. For prints, if you want to put like longer text so that you can do something like this, do triple parentheses, because if you do just one and then you put enter, like it'll break it for you. So that's why we're doing it like this. Okay. And that way all the text will show up when you call it. Okay. Right. So that's our intro. So we're a brave soldier who's raising chickens, and tragedy struck us. All our chickens are getting killed by some monster or something, and so we're gonna take our sword. Let's see, sword, not sword. Our shield and some potions, and set out to vanquish whatever's killing our monsters. All right. Then we're going to do our building. So we've traveled really far, and now we're at this location where we found a building, and we're following a trail of carcasses to that building, and we're setting that mood. So, right. So that's going to be that part of the story. Now we're going to be, okay, so we have 2 rooms, and these are descriptions if the player chooses one or the other room. So the first description, let's say the player chose like 1, right? For that room, it's like, okay, so this description, there's jewels everywhere, more than enough to replace all the chickens and live securely, so great. Or the second room, where we find this monster, and it's a Chihuahua / wolf, or the Chihuahua wolf, and it has tremendous trembling fury and a taste for chicken blood, but it's fast asleep, so maybe we can attack it and defeat it and win, right? And take vengeance for our chickens. Then let's continue. All right. Then this is the enter room description. So this would be right here. This would be the code for that. Before that, we have the room description and the room 1 and 2 description. Sorry about that. All right. So we're in that enter room decision. So if we ask the user, hey, what room do you want to enter? And then we take their choice. Remember, they're going to give us a string input, and we have to convert that into an int. so that our code can read it and do a comparison, and like, hey, they chose to go into the first room, so the soldier has entered the first room, and then we're gonna call the room description 1 to set the mood for that room, okay? And then we're gonna return the choice. And that's important for down later. All right. Same thing for the second choice. Tells us the soldiers entered the second room, and that, hey, call that function for the second room description. All right, returns choice. All right, see, so rule 1 choice. So then it asks us, we're going to call this function, and it's going to be like, okay, will you loot the room and escape for a better life? And then second room choice, it's like after you've gotten the description, like, okay, hey, do you want to fight or flee? And see if maybe there's other chickens alive somewhere else. So like, let's say you chose the second room where the monster is, but you're too afraid to fight it, right? So you can be like, okay, let's flee from here. Maybe in the other room, some of our chickens are alive. Let's take them while it's still asleep. All right, and then here is the room action functions. So that is in our flow chart right here and right here. So these two, okay? So let's say that the soldier chose the first room, right? If the first choice is 1, so room choice 1 right here. So we've already given the description for the first room, then we give the description for like, hey, what do you want to do? And it says, okay, take the user's choice or the soldier's choice, and we're like, okay, yes, we want to loot the room. So if we loot the room, we ransack everything, and then we return. So if we return, what happens once we loot and return? The game is over. But if we choose to return to the rooms or the entranceway, we are going to call this function up again, the enter room decision, which is right here. So we're going to go back, and we can go in this loop, or again, we can choose to go elsewhere or to the other room. All right. And then let's say we chose the second room where the monster is. So again, room choice 2, after we've already set the mood for it. And we're going to ask the user yes or no. Do you want to fight or do you want to flee? So if we choose to fight, if room equals 1, we're going to call that random library, and we're going to create a probability, all right, from 0 to 1. So if it's 1, the Chihuahua wakes up when we try to attack it, and we fell it, and we fall in action, not fail in action, and we lose, right? And then we return, and if we return, monster player dies here, then game over. But let's say, hey, probability is something else. We made the right decision by attacking while the monster's asleep. They didn't wake up. Then we win, and the Chihuahua wolf, it fails and falls asleep forever, and then we return. So again, we go to the game over screen, and then let's see if room 2, if we choose to not go into that room, to not fight it, we just return to the entranceway, and we again call that function, this one right here, and go back into choosing either room. Okay, let's see. So once we have all that code built up, we're going to do our last bit of code here, and we're gonna run it all. So let's start. We're gonna put our start, our intro, our building, and this is why I'm doing the functions. It's just a lot cleaner. And then we're going to give it, hey, this is our choice with the enter room decision. That's why we have, sorry, where is it? A return choice here. And then we're going to call our rooms actions function, and we're going to put the parameter in here. That way, rooms actions, it takes that into account and then goes through all that code. Then we're going to print game over. All right, so let's run this. So this is how our game is going to look. So Brave Soldier, then game start, then gives us our intro, and then gives us our building, little description, you know, sets the mood for the fight scene or the flee scene or the loot scene. Okay, and then tells us, hey, what room are you going to enter? We're just going to go with 1, right? Okay. The soldier has entered the first room. The room is lined with gold and jewels, more than enough to replace all the soldiers and live somewhere else more securely. Will you loot the room and escape, or will you loot the room and escape to a better life with your slain chickens unavenged? Yes or no? Okay, we're gonna be like, no, I just want to loot the room and eat. So 1. Okay, so you have ranked all the gold and the game's over, and that's it. That's pretty much it for code. We can play it again and make other choices. So I'm going to enter room 2, and then that's where I find the Chihuahua to fight. And I can either fight or flee. So we're going to choose to fight. So that's 1, right? Okay, so the beast is asleep. Chua was woken in your attempt to attack it. So we chose to attack, and our probability told us, no, unfortunately, it woke up, so you failed, you died, you lose, and it's game over. And we can keep on repeating this until we get the scenario where we win when we try to fight it, but it might take a little bit of time, unless, you know, you set the probability to not 1. Just like in your code, yeah, here, if it's not 2, if it's not 1, you win. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this little RPG simulator. Please stop where you like want to copy this so that you can write the code yourself. It's always good to follow. If you have any questions, please post something on the comments. In the next video, so we're going to redo this, but we're going to type it pretty much all up and just do it as like one big program, so that like you see how effective using functions is compared to just like writing it all in one go. And also it gives me a reason to like make another video, because this was a lot shorter than I thought it would be. All right, till next time, and I hope this helps someone. Bye.